Hey everybody, so this episode was intended to be the official episode for this week, but because of some factual information that was not so factual, I decided to make an alternate version with just myself since I was not able to get Seth again, sorry. So I decided to post this video. So, I mean, if you do want to watch the alternate version, which is just myself, the link will be in the description below. And if you want to see just Seth and I, since it was fun to work with him, I wanted to post this up. You can go ahead and just continue watching this. Or if you want to watch both of them, that works too. And yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoy this episode. And like I said, the alternate version will be in the link below. Enjoy. Welcome everybody, this is a program.
Sorry.
And this is the second episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review. And we're going to be talking about what we liked about this episode and also what we want to see come of this series in general. And also, since I didn't really talk about it much, I want to discuss all the characters in general. So I guess we can start with that. The main character, obviously, Phil Coulson, Agent Coulson. I kind of talked about it a little bit on the first episode of him being back and being the main character. What do you think of that?
I understand the point of bringing in Coulson because technically from the movie he's supposed to be dead, and they even bring it up, they ship him off, give him a couple weeks vacation, so he could stay away from pretty much everybody else to try to keep a low profile.
At his magical place.
Yeah, at his magical place. Yeah.
Which they say like 15 times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only magical thing about that place was probably the fact that there were, topless women giving him drinks,
Well, and I'm pretty sure...
Even though I'm pretty sure he's a, I want to say it's a necrophiliac, because, his car... Yeah. Well,
there's one thing that I'm wondering, because if you know anything about the S.H.I.E.L.D. past, one of the technologies that S.H.I.E.L.D. has is the LMD, which is the life model decoy, which is a lifelike android.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering if that's
actually... Actually, no.
You don't think so?
No, if anything, Coulson is still a normal person. I mean, granted, it wouldn't surprise me, because for the longest time, everybody saw Fury as this white guy who'd been around since, I want to say a little bit before World War II was when he was first introduced. Yeah. And, the fact that finally once they caught him up, they were like, there's no way in hell you're as old as you are. And then that's when they bring up the, whole life model decoy. And then come to find out that Fury was actually supposed to be a black man.
Well, actually, the black man one was actually because of the Ultimate series, the Ultimate Universe, is they actually have him as a black guy. That's what Bill was bringing up too.
Yeah, they did it on purpose so that way then they could do the whole Samuel L. Jackson thing.
It was just to have him, because he looks like him in the series too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not the first time that they haven't done anything like that before,
But the reason why I brought up the LMD version of it is because essentially they're talking, when you heard the doctor talking to him, he was like, Tahiti, he doesn't know. And then Melinda May was like, he can never know. So obviously there's something going on with that. So there's some kind of secret that they're trying to keep up, because that's how a show works. They have to have questions. If there's no questions or conspiracies or something that keeps you watching and asking, it's gonna flop.
What do you mean nothing to keep me watching? I'm waiting for a cameo.
Yeah, that is true.
Like the first episode, the way that they had the spoilers set up, for the preview of the show, you've seen a dude, clearly a black man, wearing a hoodie, jump out a window, land on the ground after jumping out of 7 stories out of the window, and crack the concrete. And I was like, wait, episode 1, they're already going to throw in Luke Cage? Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you throw in Luke Cage, that means you got to throw in Danny, which means now you have the, Heroes for Hire.
Yeah.
And if you have the Heroes for Hire, then I figured then that would tie in, and if they tie it in properly, then after the next movie, because the next movie is supposed to be Ultron.
Yeah, exactly.
And after they get done doing Ultron, it wouldn't surprise me if they go to a third movie, and in the third movie they attempt to do the new Avengers. You know, which seeing Wolvie, Spider-Man, you know, and Spider-Man after he's had a chance to train with Cappy, and you know, Luke Cage and Iron Fist and them, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be all great if they had the rights to X-Men and Spider-Man. Because actually Disney is the studio that is making all these Avenger movies, Iron Man, and also this show. And they're the ones who have the rights of it. But Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, and I can't remember what studio has X-Men, but they're different studios, and they've been trying to get the rights of their characters.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said, you know, if they're working on it now in the show to try to build it up like they're going to do the New Age Avengers, then that means that they're like trying like mothers to talk to Sony and be like, look, we need Spider-Man. We don't need your Spider-Man. We just need to be able to throw in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, they can be like, you know, and we don't need these people. We just need to be able to use the characters.
Yeah.
Or at least mention them without having to pay you, you know, so much money that I have to bend over and pretty much be able to,
which is what they're essentially doing at the moment.
Yeah.
So. But the sad part is it wasn't Luke Cage, so yeah, that's kind of out the window.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the.
But at least we got Samuel L. Jackson in this one, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was just a cameo. I don't think.
Well, of course he's just going to be a cameo, but you know, it was still nice to at least see him in there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
and it was pretty funny too.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's not contractually obligated. I mean, yes, he's contractually obligated to be, you know. But at the same time, you know, I'm pretty sure he wasn't obligated to be in the show itself.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that he was like, what, do the show as my character? Alright. I'm not doing anything right now.
His makeup looked better, like, you know, around his eye and stuff. I don't know if that was just me, but it looked like it was more detailed a bit.
It did look a little bit better, but at the same time, that's because when you're doing a movie, you know, okay, completely set aside. But when they were doing Hellboy, they did about 4 to 5 hours a day of makeup just to make Hellboy.
Yeah.
You know, and that is for the movie. Now, to have Samuel L. Jackson walk in, do about what, 5-10 minutes worth of dialogue?
Yeah, wasn't even that. It was like 2
don't even put in, you know, don't even put in an extra fish tank. I want this bar set up the way that it was before, you know, what happened.
Talk to me about authority.
Yeah, exactly.
And the coast is like, kill the fish tank.
Yeah.
That was the best one.
Yeah, that was the greatest. But, you know, just to show up on the TV show, if they did do 5 hours of makeup just to make sure that the scar looked better, get the eye patch looking right,
it would look more fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
First off, I see your point on that. Yeah.
And then second off, at the same time with the movie, you know, they've got to do the lines. They got to run the lines over and over and over and over and over and over. You know, it's the same thing with voice acting, and Bill's brought that up many a time, where you know you do about 5 to 10 takes if you're doing good voice acting. You know, whether it's for an anime, video game, whatever. And then they take the best ones. Same thing with acting. You know, you do about 5 to 10 takes, and then they pick, you know, 3 good ones, and then argue amongst themselves. Well, I like this one. Well, I like this one. Well, he doesn't sneeze in this one. Well, then why is it in? You know what I mean?
And we just say screw it and do it all in one take.
Yeah, exactly. That's welcome to the ReploidProductions formula. We're gonna do it one time and one time only.
And
if it doesn't work the first time. So be it.
We'll just figure it out. We'll just make it work.
Screw it, do it live.
Speaking of it not really working all the way we wanted it to, let's get back to the characters.
Yeah. So, apologies.
That's gonna happen a lot. But anyway, Melinda May's the second character. In this one, you figure out that she was the cavalry.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. So I was wondering, because she was really mysterious, and it seemed like Coulson really wanted her on her team. On the team, just to drive the bus.
Yeah.
Hunk of bullshit.
Well, at the same time, though, it's one of those things where, you know, she'd seen the combat, dealt with the crap, didn't want to deal with any of it anymore. But at the same time, Coulson knows he's got pretty much him, the other guy who we'll get to in a second, and that would have been it for tactical combat.
Oh, yeah. And
after that, you have the 2 techs. So you have 2 techs and 2 people for combat.
And a hacker now.
Really? Well, yes, now the hacker. But I'm talking, you know, at the very beginning.
Well, yeah.
You know, so the very beginning, you have Coulson with tactical advantage, the other dude tactical advantage, and 2 techs, in which the only advantage that they have is, you know, they can pretty much go, the square root of 375 is... You know,
well, you have to think about it. All the technology they're using, like that one, that huge hole thing that he shot in the ground, and he pressed it, and the whole, it was like a compression thing.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what it was. It was pretty bad.
It was a sonic concussive force.
Exactly.
That wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to emulate an earthquake, or at least that's pretty much what they told the actors. But truly, with the way that they did the special effects on it, it's no more than a psionic blast, which means it radiates in a in a circular area and knocks everybody down.
Yeah,
almost like
pretty sure
force push. And, oh God, I'm down.
And,
oh no.
And guess who made that? Most likely it was Fitz. So that's where they come in. And like those little Sleepy and those little bot things that they have, which are pretty badass. So yeah. So I mean, they do have an advantage. And if you saw at the
but you know what I mean though, with the whole combat situation, which they got into in this episode. They went under like a heavy firefight. And, pretty much all the science guys were like, oh my God, I've never seen combat. What's going on? It's like, you guys have tech. Just find something, throw it.
And once they all use Sky, which we're going to talk about in a second, Sky's little formula of everyone put the pieces together and make, work together. And they actually worked as a team. The tech people were able to use their brains while the other people would go hawk smash.
Yeah,
essentially.
Exactly.
So that's how a good team's supposed to work. You have to have brains and the brawn.
Yep,
and
exactly.
I think he had a good mix. He had two of each.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but at the same time, throwing May in there, it really helps out.
Oh yeah, because she is a cavalry. She's a one woman team. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I guess we better get into it. Agent Ward, he was supposed to be the Solid Snake of the universities. My entire mission, my entire life, I was built up to missions where I'm supposed to go in by myself and neutralize everybody in the area. I'm like, calm down, Snake. You're going to get a patch like Fury, okay? Calm down.
Know, right?
Just wait for it. Active camo's coming. Hold on.
He has to eliminate all variables, is how I put it. And right now, they just keep adding up.
Yeah, exactly.
With his line,
Yeah.
But
at the same time, some of those variables were... Not exactly up to him.
Yeah, exactly.
They kind of did it on purpose. They pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go into the episode real quick, before we continue the characters, because we're gonna keep bringing it up.
Well, yeah.
We'll do the final. Here's your spoiler alert. You got Sky, who's the hacker, and then of course Fitz, and
which we have to get into Sky and.
We got to get into Sky and them, but pretty much in this episode. They go down to South America, they go into an ancient Aztec temple, and they find a piece of ancient not so much ancient technology, because it is technically from World War II, they come to point out. But at first it's Hydra-Tech using the Tesseract, so
pure energy.
But at first, when they, they're like, oh, we think this is alien, and Sky goes to touch it, and I'm one of those people where, normally I'm not exactly like talking to the TV or none of that. She goes to touch it, and I'm like screaming at the TV like, don't do it! You're gonna kill us!
It's like, what are you doing?
Don't you know they're trying to get Thanos here early? Don't! You're in the TV show, not the movie. They can't save you. Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really am. They keep going. Here's Thanos. There's Thanos. Here's Thanos. There's. I'm going. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. No. Not yet. Not yet. We still gotta get to Ultron first. And then we can do Thanos, but Thanos is going to be such a pain in the ass.
Especially since they don't really have a huge Marvel team at the moment. All they really have is Hulk, and it's a good lineup, but it's not
which, like I said, that's the reason why they got to get into the New Age Avengers. Because if they get into the New Age Avengers, then they might have the manpower to take down Thanos.
Right now, I don't think they
Infinity Gems. Yeah.
I know, right? But the other thing I wanted to bring up, since hopefully everyone that is watching this seen the episode already, so I just want to go over what they're doing with the episode so far.
Yeah.
Because their first episode, it was Centipede, which was essentially the super soldier serum and...
in a really jacked up form, yeah.
Yeah, and it was also... I can't remember the name of...
Oh, you mean the Crimson Tide?
No, it was the thing that was in the last Iron Man. Extremists, Extremists. So it was Extremists and Super Soldier all mixed into one concoction. Yeah. And then this one was Tesseract Fuel, which was from the Avengers. So it seems like they're pushing to figure out things to use. It just seems like they're using stuff that has already been used in all the other things, like, saying, well, we have to keep with what everyone knows from the movies, or they won't understand.
Well, but at the same time, yes and no, because the way that I see the show going is you have the first episode, you're pretty much showing off the characters and what they can.
And this one was more
the second episode, you're building up the team for one, and then two, you're showing off more of their actual personal skills.
Well,
not so much the personality in little bits, but yes, you get their strengths, their weaknesses, how well they should be working together, how well they will be working together.
Still having a mystery too.
You still have your basic form of clay, and you're still kind of just okay. This looks all right. We got well, it's starting to look like the Statue of Liberty. Let's okay, and they're working on building it up. But at the same time, with Sky, she's the hacker. She's part of a group known as the
Rising Tide.
Sorry, I can think Crimson. Anyway, I get my.
I think you're thinking like Crimson Dynamo or whatever.
No, Crimson Tide, if I remember correctly, it's something else. But anyway.
Oh, okay. I think I know.
It's an actual thing, but it's something different. Because once again, my brain is, which they all know. What was it? Yeah, no. So she's working with them. And that's where in this episode she brings up, okay, well, the only reason I'm with them is because you get to see third world countries where nobody knows each other and they can't do anything about it, and now they're using Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that to get together and go, we need to do something. And I get that, bringing the world together is cool, but to completely spoil it, at the end of the episode they're watching the cannon that they found in the pyramid be set inside. They take it to a slingshot, which is pretty much a rocket, where they send it up to Thanos, which is why he's more of a jackass than normal. But they put it in a rocket. They're watching the rocket blast off, and Sky takes a step aside because she gets a text, checks it, and it's pretty much the rest of the group going, "Hey, have you infiltrated yet?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm in." So she's pretty much
something like them being in the dark or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, are you in?
So she's pretty much playing the double agent.
Yeah.
Because she's enjoying the team and she doesn't want to screw them over, but she knows she has to screw them over because they're probably going to try to screw her over.
And I mean, if you think about it, at first that was her sole mission. Was to just infiltrate them and call them out. But at the end of this episode, you honestly saw the conflicting emotions she had. I thought she was about to not send the text, but obviously...
Yeah, but obviously she did.
To keep the show interesting,
But at the same time, the way that I feel it's going, everybody keeps going, a lot of the people I'm hearing, because I've been talking with people at work about it, and they're like, oh yeah, no, they gotta bring in Hydra and Hydra. I was like, Hydra? They go, yeah, no, Hydra this, Hydra that. I was like, they already did that in Captain America.
Well, this is where
they're gonna bring in AIM.
Well,
if anybody, they're bringing in AIM, which means MODOK is showing up somewhere.
Which would be badass,
Yes and no. For this team, I do not see this team.
I don't want to see no, but this is what I think this show is. This show has nothing to do. This show is solely for setting up the next Avenger movie.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I've watched a lot of different things about behind the scenes and other stuff on this. That's essentially what they're doing, which is why I feel after the next Avenger movie comes out, this is probably going to die. It's essentially...
Well, it'll either die or if the ratings take off, like, just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Then, which, with as many comic book fans as there are out there.
Well, and what they're doing right now is they're making it, so they're publicizing it as you have to watch this in order to understand what's going on in the next Avenger movie.
Yeah.
And also all the cameos and
which is completely understandable.
Yeah, because, and I think it's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah, we've brought up points like this before, like, excuse me, because a while back, Bill had brought up, back when we were doing the podcast, that since Schwarzenegger was done with his political term, he was going back to movies and they were thinking of making a brand new Terminator. And he asked me the question, he goes, if they make it, where are they going to set it? And I said, well, they pretty much they already have most of the storyline set up. I said, so if anything, they'll do it where, it's right about that time in T2 when you see John Connor in the future before they go back and, So if they do anything like that, it'll be, here you go, bare minimum story, so when, they can cover anything they need to cover.
Yeah.
And after that, hardcore scene-to-scene fights. And Bill goes, I would watch that. That's pretty much what it is they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think they're going to do
that. They're going to set the story right now. That way then they can get more random ass S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in. You know, not just Coulson and Fury and Hill.
Yeah, I can see
because so far those are the only three.
Probably, like maybe Black Widow, maybe Hawkeye, because they are technically S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they are. They're mainly S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say, if they're going to end up doing anything, they're going to bring in third-rate heroes. And I don't mean that to, like, knock them down, but they're going to bring in, like, a bunch of, like, different random people that, you know, they really don't have much to do with S.H.I.E.L.D. other than, like, they'll show up in random, you know, comics and be like, oh, here's what's going on with this, and here's that.
Probably in different aspects where like, normal people can't handle the situation.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Like Mockingbird might show up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they're going to bring in Panther, because if they're going to bring in Panther, it'll be in the next movie.
No, well, I've actually read a lot of stuff where they're actually casting for a Black Panther movie, because they do. Disney does have the rights to Black Panther.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, so then they might not bring in Panther.
They might. I mean, they might bring him in just to set him up somehow.
Yeah.
Like it could be. 'Cause they can do whatever they want with this show. Like it can go multiple different ways.
Yeah. At the same time, like I said, they could bring in Hawkeye. But I'm gonna say if they bring in Hawkeye, they'd wait until like the second season.
Yeah.
Because this is only like so far they've only had this set up to be one season, and then after the season's over, it's the movie, right?
And I think it's gonna be more set up like it's gonna be more of them, and I think like the last 3 or 4 episodes are gonna be a huge threat that's setting up the next movie to the point of they have to start bringing in heroes.
Yeah.
And that's gonna start the next, you know, the movie.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, if they bring in Hawkeye, it won't be until about the second season if they do a second season.
Yeah.
Leading up to the third movie. And if anything, that's because in the New Age Avengers, you know, or well, not the New Age Avengers is what it is. It's the New Avengers. But anyway, Hawkeye is actually one of the main guys in charge of training the newer Avengers. Because I've been playing the Facebook game a lot for the Marvel one, and I got X-23 and Hawkeye, and if I team them up, it gives them like a special team where, because he actually helped to train X-23 to be, you know,
I'm
a part
not too familiar
of
with
the
the comic line of that, but
I'm not. Amazingly, I'm not either. Yeah. I just watch and, you know, do a little bits of what I can, because, you know, don't exactly have the money for comic books.
Oh, exactly. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is what I thought I wanted, like what I wanted to see from the first couple episodes. Because like you were saying, the first episodes are about building, like, you know, setting up the team, finding their weaknesses and everything else. But I wanted them to incorporate the aftermath of the Avengers. Because you remember at the end of the Avengers, New York was screwed. And they were talking in the first episode how they had to clean it up, and how Sky was talking about how they cleaned it up and everything else to the point of not many people knew what was going on. I wanted to see that. Like, you know, set up the team at that point. Like, you know, and obviously with New York being as messed up as it was, there's going to be superheroes or like villains or rebels or someone going in and looting. So you could have had the action on that part. Like having the first episode.
If anything, they might do that. Like, you know, maybe the 4th or the 5th episode. You know, hell, maybe even next episode. They might, you know, bring it up and be like, wait, so what do they mean by the cavalry and da-da-da-da-da, and then be like okay, so when I was in New York, I had to help everybody.
I don't
had
see
like 3 partners, and the partners got shot, and I had to take everybody out on my own, and I became badass, you know. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, backstories to certain characters, it's understandable and I get it.
Yeah.
But
like
no offense to the show,
like stuff like Lost, awesome. Because they did it way too much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some shows.
Well, but at the same time, that also went how many seasons?
Like 6, I think. Yeah.
You know, once you get to a certain point, you know, then you got to start adding backstory to some of the characters to, you know, draw up, you know, more and more of the storyline forward. Be like, we'll throw this in because it was part of that, and they finally caught up to them, you know.
Well, going back to this though, like the one thing I want to make sure it's clear, I really do love the show. Like I love the idea. I've been geeking out about an idea like in a concept like this for a long ass time. Ever since they came out with the first Iron Man movie, I'm like, I want a TV show like this.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they're doing it is great.
Yeah.
So me just saying what I wanted to happen is just me being, you know, the nerd that I am.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far it's great. Like, you know, Joss Whedon, who is the person who made Firefly and also Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you have high expectations for him.
Yeah.
And one of the major things that I'm seeing on a side note is a lot of the comments, like when I watched it on Hulu, which we have the link below. Anyway, a lot of people are saying, well, it's not like the movies, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting mad because it's not like the other movies, and it's not hitting their expectations.
All right,
like,
well, let me put it to you this way.
A little bit.
Because my level of dams given throughout the last week have dropped to 0. So, to the trolls out in internet land, let me explain something to you people. Joss Whedon has been doing all of this stuff, okay? He's done the movies, he's doing the shows. He's got each and every single one of the movies are pretty much all him. There's really not much of anybody else doing anything to help him other than like your standards, here's a producer, here's an editor, da-da-da. When it comes right down to, drawing up the scripts, doing all that crap, making sure that everything seems legit, he's the one doing all of it, and he's doing it to the best of his abilities without having to pay Sony X amount of money and having to go over here and go, here's extra money because you still own this character and you're not being nice and letting us use their likeness.
Well, and the major thing is you guys are comparing a TV show to a movie. A movie budget is 10 times more.
Oh, no. See, what they're doing is they're comparing apples to oranges and bananas. Because the comic book would be apples, okay? That's what we read. That's the story we're in. Stan Lee did almost all of it with the help of Jack Kirby and all that. They did pretty much everything.
And like
now you come down to the movies. Now you come down to the movies, which is a completely separate universe. And the reason it's got to be a separate universe is because even though Stan Lee's gone, here's my character, man. Make a film for me. That's what I want to see. I want to see a moving picture of my comic book. And that's actually what he says. Kevin Smith fan. But he hands it to, Joss. And Joss goes, okay, Spider-Man, okay, we got Iron Man, alright. Hulk, okay, Wolverine, and Cappy, and Hawkeye. Okay, I think I got a good idea. We're going to use this character, this character, this character, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And then, somebody else wanders in and they go, I hate to tell you this, but you can't do that because, money. Okay, let's do this. Now you have a TV show, and like he was trying to bring up, you have completely separate budgets from TV to a movie. A movie has about $3 billion for a budget. You know how much a TV show has for a budget? You would be lucky to be getting about, maybe about 500,000.
See, but
that's on like a great TV show.
And I know this is going to have a higher budget than most. Like probably in the millions, but you have to remember...
Well, but at the same time, with the way that the technology is nowadays, we could do all kinds of crazy stuff.
But you have to think about it, though.
You can still do it in a better budget.
If you're looking at it, like, a movie is 2 hours, 2.5 hours with a shit ton of money going in it.
And of course it's got to be, a whole bunch of money because, you got to do the filming, you got to do different locations. You got to get everybody plane tickets, and I mean everybody. You can't just be like, all right, we're going to go take a 5-man crew, down to the local zoo and hope that they can, hide the animals, and we're just going to, film a couple things in the zoo because it looks like a jungle. You know what I mean? They actually go to a jungle and film. So that's money.
This is 12 to 20 episodes that are, that the budget's split between. So it's going to be more, limited. But anyway, we are kind of going a little bit longer than I wanted to. And
sorry.
Oh no, it's totally okay. It was a good conversation. So anyway, hope like this. Normally we'll have these up probably I want to say on Mondays. This one might be up a little bit sooner. Hopefully, please guys comment. You guys didn't do it last time.
Really do comment.
Because what we want to do is after you watch the newest episode, episode 3 on Tuesday night, or if you're watching on Hulu Wednesday night, comment on this video. Tell us what you liked, what you want to see, questions that you have or things that you just want us to talk about. And if you have a core comment, we will share it. And considering no one's commenting, if you comment, most likely it's going to be on the show. So we want to interact with you guys. So that's what this show is about. It's all about going episode by episode, geeking out with the show, and sharing the the joy with you guys.
And don't worry, because anytime I show up, I'm gonna fight with you.
So if you want to argue with Fat Man,
yeah,
now's your
the
chance.
Blob will take you on any day.
But anyway, that was the episode.
And don't forget, one more side note. Reploid Productions also has a new forum up over off of oneup.com. I've attempted to mention on this before, but
and I'll link it in here.
We got lazy. And by we, I mean me and Nick and Shane. We got lazy. Go figure, right?
You lazy? No.
No, never.
Never.
But yeah.
Advertising.
So yeah. So feel free, go to OneUp, join in on some of the discussions. You know, we have quite a few going right now. Just in case if you don't want to talk S.H.I.E.L.D., we've got all kinds of other stuff going.
Exactly.
Feel free to fight with us there too, because we will throw down.
And yeah, but so anyway, that was the episode. Hopefully you guys liked it. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, and see you guys next week.
And don't forget to make fun of our mohawk.
There we go, that works.